And we are back on Crimson Media Radio. This week on Crimson Media Radio, episode 11, we are having the pleasure to talk to Kaitlyn Gold and the Orphan Age. How you guys doing?
Good.
How are you?
Very good. Now, I've been following Miss Kaitlyn on her social media a little bit because she's been doing a very good job promoting the art and the music.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to miss. You've been posting like a lot of like shots from your gigs. You've been posting a lot of like live videos, and I think that that's really effective. All the people I've seen who have been successful, anyways, are always like promoting the holy shit out of themselves.
Yeah, you really have to. It starts to get uncomfortable, really. Where you're just like, man, there's a whole lot of fucking me out there. You know?
Yeah, no, totally. But I mean, that's the name of the game. Kind of throwing yourself out there, and the more vulnerable you feel, the more successful you're ultimately going to be. I've found.
Definitely, yeah. Absolutely. It's like to be a little uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to first kind of ask about how you got your start here in Los Angeles, because it sounds like it was a little bit of a pilgrimage for you.
Yeah.
You grew up in Atlanta, correct?
Yeah. I'm from Atlanta. I moved out here about 4 years ago, a little under actually. And I hadn't played music out here. I went through a divorce when I moved out here.
Oh.
And kind of like forgot about the fact that I was a musician. And
you had something else consuming your life at the time.
Just like demons.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know that feeling. Yeah, so you came out here in order to kind of escape that situation.
Yeah, and I worked at the Viper Room, so I was very like, just completely immersed in music, and it was a while. I was there for about 2.5, 3 years before I started doing anything. And it was actually a year ago today that I played my first show as Kaitlyn Gold. But I just had all this stuff that I've been writing and working on for a long time that I kind of compiled, and I finally just did something with it.
Right, it finally came out, so to speak.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, Jesse Hughes, actually, from Eagles of Death Metal, was a good friend of mine, and he just kind of like kept his foot up my ass about like getting me out and playing and just gigging and writing.
Foot up ass technique.
Yes,
that
definitely.
is very, very effective, I hear.
Yeah, it really works. It really gets uncomfortable after a while, so you're like, you know what?
I imagine it does.
He's got a big foot, too.
Yeah, we'll ask Jesse about that eventually, hopefully. So you work with Jesse Hughes. That's cool.
Oh, well, we don't work together. He's a really good friend. He's like a big brother, and he's always got my back on everything, and that was just my main thing. That was just.
Have you known him for a while?
Yeah, I met him when I was working at the Viper Room. He did a residency as Boots Electric,
Oh, okay, cool, yeah.
So the second we met, we just it was like we were just like family,
Right. You just had like that instant click, and he was really supportive of your career.
Yeah, we were both like, he's from the South as well. Like, he's from South Carolina.
Yeah.
So we just had that kind of just that's like Southern kindred.
The Southern twang, sure.
Yeah, he would come over to my house and just he'd pick up a guitar and make me pick up one too, and just
just like that. Yeah, that's rad. So you instantly found an ally as soon as you came out here. Now you still work at the Viper Room, correct?
No, it's been about it'll actually be 2 years in August.
Okay. I think I saw that as your official title on your social media.
Yeah, it's up there as like my used to work, but it hasn't. It's like the main one on there because it doesn't really classify like musician as a job, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, and it should. You can put that on your tax return. So
totally right. Yeah, so I'll take my money for it.
Yeah. But that's awesome that you were able to go down to the Viper Room, and you were a bartender there. It sounded like.
I was a bartender. I was in charge of just like the VIP the celebrity crowd that came through.
Yeah.
Which really just I met so many. It put my foot in the door with so many amazing people.
That's so cool. I mean, the Viper Room. I've definitely had a few interesting nights there, so to speak.
It's impossible to go there and not see someone you know.
Yeah,
Especially
that's very
musicians,
true.
It's a very small town.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. Every time I've gone down there, has always been somebody who I've at least been following, or somebody who I think the band's cool, or I know in the scene. The Viper Room is kind of like a small, intimate environment, so to speak. So
it is.
There's a lot of cool stuff that happens there. As a matter of fact, the guy who books for the Viper Room presently, I think his name is Patrick. Do you know him by any chance?
I haven't met him yet, actually.
Okay, you know who I'm talking about, though?
Yeah, it's Carla who does the sound there.
First time podcasting, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm just kidding.
Carla that does the sound down there has tried to introduce me to him a few times, but we keep dismissing each other every time I'm there, and it's currently not really
I was gonna say it's also you see someone every time you go to the Viper Room, but it's also easy to miss someone every time you go to the Viper Room.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I mean, I'm super tall, so I like to think that I stand out in a way.
Right.
But but the problem is I don't like all the attention, so I'm always just like,
find a corner,
Yeah, and there's a lot of dark corners over there, but fortunately, there's also a lot of pretty girls who are probably looking to swoop in on all the fellas. So fellas, take notes, all right? I mean, I'm in a relationship, but all of you guys, they're dark corners. Just saying.
Right.
And
the tables.
consent, all that, you know.
right.
So, anyways, yeah, I went off a little bit off topic there, but so you were able to get that gig at the Viper Room, and Patrick, the reason why I was mentioning him is because he's been on the show too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he plays. I've heard good things.
He plays with the band EDMF. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
I have.
Yeah, Daniel, he's another guy who's been on the show a few times. He's the lead singer of that band, and they've been super cool to me. But I found out he booked at the Viper Room, so I was like, oh, cool. That's at least like somebody who's like doing like this kind of thing is like an ally of like both like the show and other people who have been on it.
Yeah.
So he seems like a nice guy. But did you play any shows at the Viper Room while you were working there?
No, I did. I haven't ever played there, and there's.
Well, maybe I was getting ahead of myself then.
No.
Not yet. She hasn't yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Operative word, yet.
Right. Yeah. At the moment, my ex is a bartender there and has been like not allowed there. So
we're gonna change that. Don't worry.
Right.
Everyone who's listening,
you got
we're
the
gonna
X
change
ban. I gotcha.
Right. It's like, but I used to work here too. Like it's kind of fucking bullshit.
Yeah, that is kind of. But he's still there.
I think the people at like the top just don't really know that he's like kind of like taking that role of like. Kicking me out.
Oh, okay. Wow, this is an exclusive scoop right
here.
You
can't kick the Orphan Age out.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you guys are gonna play some gigs there, but like the Viper Room, that might be a priority. But there could also be like a lot of other things that you guys are kind of gunning for right now as far as gigs are concerned. I mean, that's your ex-stomping ground for like work.
Right.
Might be a little
like 20 years.
Yeah, it might be a little uncomfortable to like just like show up there and like.
Honestly, yeah, right. Well, that's we tried that one. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've noticed like over the past year that it really doesn't matter where you play. I mean, I played a house party on Normandy, and I had like both Capitol Records and Universal have been watching me for a while, and like they both came to a house party that I played.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw the pictures from that. That was great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a weird show, but it's it was freezing cold outside, but they'll go wherever they if they want to see you, like they'll find you.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, high and low, wherever the talent is, So Viper Room is probably out, but you've been able to at least like book like house parties.
Yeah, and it's I played like Lucky Strike Live.
Lucky Strike Live is a good venue.
Yeah, they have a great sound. It's a little weird though. It's funny to hear like bowling going on in the background.
Well, I grew up watching that movie Josie and the Pussycats, and like it all starts with them on the bowling alley. It's like this is where we get our start,
Right.
So I don't know.
There are plenty of other venues on Sunset Boulevard to play at.
Well, they're starting to knock some down. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, we're actually playing a gig tomorrow. It's called Break at the Beach, and it's us and two other bands, and whoever like kind of like wins, I guess it's like sort of like a battle of the bands. Mm-hmm. But whoever wins plays the ultimate jam night at the Whiskey,
Venice,
or they open
California.
up.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's whoever wins the show that opens up for ultimate jam night at the Whiskey on like they're like Tuesday nights. Yeah.
Ultimate jam nights.
Yeah, so
and
like,
I've been to a few of
good.
those too. Yeah, those are rad. And is it actually going to be on the beach?
Oh, tomorrow it's in Venice Beach. It's on it's at
love
the
Venice
Beach bar. Yeah.
I go to Venice
all the
time.
Yeah.
I'm always hoping that the housing market crashes secretly just so I can get some real estate out there eventually, and just get it at the bottom. I need a place to put my puppy and my kids someday, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's a great place to grow up, like I would think so.
Yeah.
Anyways, but Venice is just like such a cool spot because it has so much history in it. I mean, that's like why I like hanging out there by myself there for dinner and cocktails fairly often too.
Yeah, I get lost there. Like if I go to Venice, like I'll like suddenly been like 2 weeks that I'm just like shit. I didn't do anything. Like I've just been in
Venice.
It's like bar hopping, and like, pretty sure got kicked out of some places.
Oh, well, hopefully we'll get to some of those stories as well.
Maybe not. You're not 86. You're 43. So just for the night.
You're just 43. Yeah, it's like halfway there. I got you.
You don't have to pay for any of this. Just please leave.
Right.
Come back tomorrow. Let's try again.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one thing that you can do in Venice. That's definitely true. But Venice is definitely like a cool spot for music and just like it's a great place. Yeah. There's the microphone. There we go.
Yeah, art and culture. I really enjoy Venice Beach, and yeah, it's cool.
A lot of some of the best musicians are actually you see on the street. We were just talking about that, Aaron.
Yeah.
Like even on Hollywood Boulevard, like. And you never hear them. You never see them at the Viper Room. That's for sure. But
street musicians. So.
Yeah. And you never know like who's going to end up showing up like at a Venice Beach like Break at the Beach jam or something like that.
Yeah,
so
that's
cool.
definitely true. And I think that there's so much passion on the streets too. It's like what else are you doing that for other than the fact that you love playing all day?
Right.
It's just like almost like a tech. You just got to keep on going with it. Like those street drummers. I could do this for a few hours, bro. Like
And they do
and
all
they
day,
do, and
all
they
night.
do.
Yeah.
And you know what? more power to them.
Yeah.
More power to them, because honestly, like, everything good in everything worth doing in life is worth doing often.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so
Something
power
becomes
to them.
second nature. It really doesn't matter what it is, but I think when it becomes second nature, that's where the real art comes from. Where it's like,
Yeah, absolutely. And then maybe one day you go on America's Got Talent and you end up getting Susan Boiled, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So one of the questions I also had is, you know, you came out here. You're, like I said, Venice. We were talking about, you know, some of the cool environments to play at, some of the cool places to hang out in LA. But like, what do you really want to do? Like, now that you're here in LA, you know, where are you gunning for? You gunning for the Greek Theater? You gunning for a national tour? What do you want?
I'd like to get as far away from Los Angeles with the music as possible.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know, honestly, like, I love LA. I love living here just because there's so much to do here. But one of the things I've always thought about is, as far as the music scene's concerned, I don't know if this is necessarily like my number one spot to like to gun for shows. And it's not that I don't love the people out here. It's just I feel like there's really like people who aren't in big cities appreciate the holy shit out of like the music scene and shows, and they're not like, you know, okay, well,
experience.
I have like 5 friends bands playing this week. I can't go to all of them.
They're
you
almost
know,
kind of pissed off at the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of unnecessary betrayal in the city, just because people are like, you didn't show up to my gig, and we were friends.
They take it far too personally.
Yeah, and they take it personally. And, you know, honestly, I'd rather be in a position where there's like people all over the country when I show up, like, they're just like, I am so grateful that you are here playing a gig, you know, like, it's Friday night. What the hell are we doing, you know?
That's like, you know, I actually have a really big following in South America, and it's like that, you know, I've been like dying to get down there because it's like Beatlemania down there.
How did that happen?
I honestly, it's after Scott Weiland passed, he was a good friend of mine, so a lot of his
Scott
friends
Weiland was a good friend of yours.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
Scott Weiland was a huge influence on me.
Yeah,
legendary.
He was an incredible person. But like, his fan base is just so like they connected with me, you know, through him.
Right.
And so they just stayed like latched onto me, and so like he had a huge following in South America, and they've all just kind of attached to me and just kind of stayed like by my side through all this. So.
And they write you like all the time.
They do. It's really sweet, you know. Like they're all like super like, you know, respectful about like, you know, like they're kind of like appreciate like the fan musician like relationship, you know. Whereas like I think here people get,
boundaries
like,
not.
Yeah, you know, it's social media has really opened up such a window for people that I think that especially in America, it's people almost get too close, you know. They really do think that they know you and that you're their friend and that they, you know, and
that's why fights on the online get really personal nowadays.
Well, yeah, and it's like you have to be like, it's, you know, even like on like, you know, everything that I have online is all like sort of like, you know, fan pages and stuff. So you have to be so careful. Like, you know, there's nothing really personal on it.
Yeah.
It's that just that tiny little bit, and they're just, you know, they think that they're in
private life offline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think the sin that I would find myself most guilty of is I'm very intellectually stimulated. So like when people are throwing ideas around, like especially when I find them to be completely ignorant, I'm like, you're fucking wrong about that, you know? Like, and that's just because I grew up, everybody in my family happens to be like in academics. My dad is a fucking teacher. My mom is like a college administrator. My sister's a Harvard lawyer, you know, like.
So everything's like a debate.
Yeah, and when I grew up, like everything was just debated in my household, you know. It's like, why do you believe that? You know, blah, blah, blah.
But it's great to challenge yourself that way.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of people don't see it that way.
No, they don't. They see it as a battle when really it's just like, you know, like it's not about me being right or you being right. It's about like, you know, just elaborating on your thought and what you like, why, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
some people don't understand, like you said.
Yeah.
Right, and
I'll fuck you up.
You know, keep your personal offline though. I think is really important. Like for example, you know, like I wouldn't have guessed like very many of the things that you were telling me about, like, you know, like what your music's about and some of the personal stories that you had brought to the table. I wouldn't have guessed that if I just simply looked at your social media. I would have like, you know, probably been like, you know, this is coming from somewhere. I'm not quite sure where though. You know, so it was really cool hearing you open up about that a little bit, you know?
Yeah, well, I think it's important, you know, I try not to be like, you know, an advocate necessarily, because I don't believe in victimizing yourself for like the rest of your life and just putting yourself
Hell yes. Let me go ahead and I don't have a lighter, but let me raise a lighter to that. Yeah, exactly. Oh, everybody else has one. Raise the lighter. No victim. And I think that's so important is because victim mentality is really like the number one killer of careers out here. It's just like life isn't fair and it's unfair to me. And I just like, I don't know, like, you know, like if I just like complain about it, maybe someday the universe will recognize how unfair it's been to me.
It's just honestly people's justification to not do anything. You know, it's like I could be lazy for the rest of my life because this one.
The world doesn't know anybody a goddamn thing.
Yeah, honestly, like some people say, oh, well, this is like a parent thing. Parents spoil their kids and then they end up like that. But you know what I think it is? It's like everybody was like a baby at one point. Everybody was cared for at one point.
Yeah.
And everybody has like that. Yeah, and everybody has like that kind of like nurtured core that like, if it gets betrayed, they become ugly like very quickly,
Yeah, and it's everything in life is like everybody goes through their own like shit, and it's not about what happens, but how you react to it.
Yeah,
It's about
exactly.
You are where you are because of you.
Yeah,
you are where you are because of someone else maybe previously in your life, but ultimately
it's really how you choose to be. Like I choose to be happy, and I choose to like
There you go.
Right.
You shape your life by the emotions you put out there. Yeah, I agree.
We heard you loud and clear.
Just
I heard
helping
you
out there. Yeah, but like I said, I think the reason why people complain and why it comes back to the nurturing mother thing is it's like when you like were a kid, you cried, your mother, yeah, your mother took care of your needs, hopefully, or else you probably aren't alive anymore.
Right.
Yeah, but
she fed me.
Yeah, she fed me. She fed you, but like even that, like you cry, your mother comes and feeds you, or like burps you, or something like that. And so I think like some people like when they like really get in a bad.
Burps me. Your mother still nurses you?
Well, I mean, sometimes we all have those drunken nights where you gotta have your hair held back and all that. But
back to yourself.
But when you complain, you're like almost like you remember like your parents took care of that for you, or like they took care of that need, and you're almost like the universe was like your mom or your dad, and you're expecting them to acknowledge your pain and take care of it. But life is cruel. Life doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Life is just like if you're in a shitty situation, the only thing that's gonna get you out of that shitty situation is your own willpower.
Yeah, you have to pull up your own bootstraps and just like do
agree.
it.
Or life lessons thrown down right here.
Right.
Yeah, so it sounds like when you were coming out to LA, were you writing any music when you first got here, or was it just like kind of like a blank slate?
I was really, I had just my husband was a musician, and so I really like took the back burner to that, just because it's funny, like a lot of times you end up with a musician and they actually don't support your being a musician, so I just So I was a lot of times,
I feel like people get threatened in those relationships.
Yeah, it's really difficult. It really is. I have a tendency to date with musicians, and it just doesn't they're always like stoked about it at first until they, especially being a female, they're then I'm like touring and stuff.
Like,
they're like,
girl power
I don't understand
until it
that.
doesn't
There's
work
no-
out for them.
Yeah, it's
Doing-
adorable until like
You're doing the same thing, but it's like I don't understand that. Like the guy is jealous of the girl's jealous of the guy. I mean, you're going for the same thing. Just support each other.
Yeah.
Whatever she does is going to benefit you. Whatever you do is going to benefit her. Just think of it that way.
A lot of times people just weren't expecting me to be as serious about it as I am. They
Yeah.
it's a cute thing that I do. And
You
so
just went
they-
big with it, and they were like,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
hey,
it's a
whoa, and
Always
that's
trying to one up
Right.
you or something.
I mean, I think it's just like it's just basic human nature, really. It's we all have our roles, I suppose, but it's
Yeah. Did he? Do you think that he was like an impediment to your writing process at first?
Yeah, I think so. But it definitely when I started this project and started writing for it, it was definitely a whole new process for me.
Yeah, totally.
And so it was very, and it still comes on like very strong. Like the song will start coming out of me, and it's just like boom, just like done in 20 minutes.
And you got to just go with it until it's finished. Yeah.
And
Chasing creative threads is fun.
it is.
He's in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
But like
In the zone, yeah.
Yeah, and it's but I try to always they're very real, and they're very like serious, but I try to always like make them like not like a poor me, and like and have it be more of an empowering like rise above kind of thing.
Yeah.
'Cause I think it's just important for like everybody to realize that like it's nobody's gonna do the work for us. Like only you are gonna like do as much for you as like no one gives as much of a shit.
Yeah, and the dichotomous edge of that is that it's also a place where you can surrender yourself,
Absolutely.
It's not just a place about power, it's a place about giving your power up.
Yeah, and it really is, and it's honestly like that's what's helped me. Like I've been through so much the past few like 10 years.
Yeah, totally.
And that's it's about when I sing these songs, it's really like I've noticed that a lot of times like they kind of become like words to me, and that like the things that happen and the way that it affected me, it doesn't really affect me anymore. And it's I kind of healed through that, and it was just kind of amazing to find those moments of like, oh shit, like that's like this doesn't make me want to cry. Like it's just.
Did you have like
Healed through your music?
Yeah.
Exactly. Did you have a place where you feel like you kind of like got over like kind of like the mountain, so to speak, and it was all downhill from there as like writing started becoming easier and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it was right around the time that I was finishing Buried Alive was when like my process really kind of clicked into itself.
Buried Alive, I remember that very well. That was what I started my musical journey with you with.
Yeah. I actually started writing that song years ago, and I just finished it this past year. But with that one, it really like I think I really.
Wait, hold the phone. It took you a year to write that song.
Well, I actually put it down for a while because I thought that it wasn't my song. I thought that like I had a recording of me doing just a very tiny piece of it, and it was like just like shitty recording, and I thought that we were actually covering somebody else's song, and so like the more I listened to it, I forgot about it for a long time and went back to it, and I was like, wait, no, like I sound like I'm writing it. Like I sent it to a lot of people. I was like, listen to this. Like, have you heard this song before? Like, is this me or like? Because like the last thing I wanted was to finish writing it, and me just having like written like the second half of somebody else's song.
Right. Wow, that's such a cool story for that. And sometimes it proves that art doesn't happen like immediately.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. The fact that you listened to Buried Alive, and that's basically a year's worth of her life into what 3 minutes?
Yeah.
And just so listen to the lyrics, listen to the song, and just think about that.
Yeah, it's going to be like a brand new experience for me to be able to do that. As a matter of fact, that might be a good segue to play the first song here. Is Buried Alive available?
It is available, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, let me go ahead and boot that one up then, and then we'll get the full experience of 1 year of Kaitlyn Gold's life put into 3 minutes of musical form. Here is Buried Alive right here on Crimson Media Radio. Check it out.
Song. Tell me a story about your darker days and all your glory. I'll turn my head. You enter the cold, only you know. Wake up tired to the bed again. Another night on my own death row. You dive into my soul and turn off all of my fight. You take it all.
And he is turning off his phone. That was Buried Alive right there. That is a beautiful track, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Very, very good. And like I said, I hope everybody gets like a proper context on it now that they've heard your words about like, the writing process.
Well, and it's, I think it's also like, important to like leave things kind of like vague enough to where people can kind of put their own story into it, and it's more relatable,
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, like, everybody doesn't want to just like think that it's about somebody else. They always want to think it's about themselves.
Exactly, totally.
Yeah.
That's what it is too. Like, you need to be able to put yourself into that and feel what the
Open
artist
for
is
interpretation.
feeling. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you.
Let me just help you out really quick. So one of the things that I was also thinking is like, you came out to LA on this incredible journey just to like, come to Atlanta. What was the final straw to like finally get you to LA, if you don't mind me telling? What got you on that? Was it a bus or a plane or a train or what was it?
I honestly, I just I left when I went through a divorce. I left like everything in like the house. I like packed up my Prius, like just whatever I could fit in it, and just my marketing director.
Save the planet, guys.
Yeah, totally, right? Totally. My marketing director at the time, I owned a dance company, and she was
wow.
just like,
That's why you're a great dancer.
Thank you. But she told me, she was like, like Atlanta's just like, it never really fit right for you anyways. And so I came out and I'd visited with her. And really we just like, we split ways at the airport and didn't see each other again until like the end of the week, like back at the airport, cause
right.
it was just like, so like, I just fell into it so much, And so I came home and I actually was like offered a job at the Viper Room while I was out here. And so I came home and just like quit my job and packed my car and drove out in 36 hours.
And you were able to just get out of like you said you had a house?
Yeah. I honestly I left everything to my husband. I was just pretty much like, you have those memories and live in those, and I'm just gonna take my clothes and
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Did you guys have like a mortgage together? And
no, it was I was an like escrow to buy the house, and so I was able to kind of like bow out and just be like, hey, like whatever the fuck he wants, Like, it was
at least that's what she's telling us.
Right.
I don't know. That sounds pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
That's your real name, Kaitlyn.
I'm the witness protection, guys. Like, come on.
Yeah. If you say your real name by accident, like I said, we will beep it.
Right. That's what we're talking about. Kaitlyn Gold is my real name.
Of course. Yeah, but the so you got out of a house that you were about to get a mortgage. That's a big situation there.
Yeah. Well, it was like it was like 3 years into our marriage, and like I guess I just love is blind. Like I didn't let myself see how bad it was. Like. After that last broken nose, you're like, all right, fuck it. Like that's kind of it.
You can't quite throw that under the rug.
Yeah.
After that, it's kind of time to come out to LA.
Yeah. It's also easier to get contracts that way too. Like, come on.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Like this is the beater right here, like this is like the bottom right here. This is like honestly, and that's what I thought was so interesting is you were like telling me like, do you think that like it's okay if we talk about some of these things on the show? And I really like that melted my heart that you like asked me that, because honestly, like most of the time when people like talk about like themselves, they just jump out there and just do it, what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
they don't care who they offend. They're just like, I'll justify it later, you know what I mean? But you actually were like, this is a serious topic. I don't want to like, I don't want to rub anybody the wrong way. Is your show like a family friendly show? Is that the kind of thing? I was like, this is a free speech chapel in here. Say whatever the hell you want, shy of racial slurs, I don't care.
Enjoy your free speech while you still have it, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you don't think that's not getting taken, well, anyways, that's a whole different topic.
It's a total
freedom,
Everyone just calm down.
Rewind.
Rewind. So, take two. Yeah. So, but I thought that was like really like awesome that you were like, able to like, like ask me, is that okay to talk about? And it's really like, it's a tough situation to like move out of any situation where you're like, kind of like that's your home.
Yeah.
You got like, you got a significant other. Yeah. A significant other, maybe like a dog or something like that.
Yeah. Never saw that one again. Yeah. Sabbath. Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst when you got
Jerry Springer.
Yeah. Now we have Jerry Springer the dog, and he's the fucking shit.
His name's Jerry Springer.
Yeah,
Jerry Springer.
That's awesome. I mean, obviously, I know where the name came from. Does any behavior inspire it?
He actually came with the name. He was actually like abusive dude number 2. Got me him for a consolation prize, but he broke my nose too.
Jeez.
So we got him at Lucky Puppy.
Where the fuck do guys? I've just got to stop you. Where the fuck do guys get off? Like, where the fuck do guys get off on this shit? Like, it's one thing. Like, I've seen like this one phenomenon where women are like punching guys in the face like right now, and they're like, "Go on, hit me, you son of a bitch!" And then finally they're like, "Bob," and that I can almost like, all right, like you want to act like a man. Sometimes you're gonna get smacked like a. But if you are just like existing. If you disagree, things get like kind of heated and stuff like that, where the fuck do you get off? There is a height weight disadvantage. There is a fucking emotional toll that goes on that shit. I am just like so fucking against that. It is just like, it makes me like angry that like some people are just like, they were raised to think that that's like okay.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, piece of shit.
And there's definitely like,
What
you know,
goes
as,
around
like,
comes around.
As like the other person in that relationship, like there's like, I mean, there is like a bit of like a Stockholm syndrome that you get, you know, it's a trauma bond where like you just, they comfort you afterwards, and so like it's
just so sick. It's
Yeah,
like, you know,
it
look,
is.
I don't want to do that to you, but I love you, and we need to like sometimes.
You don't have
just
time to deal with your psychological bullshit,
and
man.
I mean, there's really just like, there's such a like sociopathy that's like, you know, this is so common in people these days where they really just don't there is a complete lack of emotion and feeling in these people that they don't care, they don't feel like, you know, guilt or shame or love or happiness or sadness, and it's really like, you know, it's kind
Mommy
of sad
didn't.
that they,
Mommy
think-
didn't love you when you were a kid, I guess.
Or mommy
Do
like
you
too
do you think
much.
that they don't feel anything, or do you think that what they feel is like overwhelming, but they don't know how to deal with it?
Maybe they just
No.
simply don't give a shit.
I think
Maybe
there's
they just
definitely
don't
that
care.
depending on the person.
Yeah.
And with the people that I've dealt with, like it's just a severe narcissism where there really is just no there is no emotion. I mean, everything is fake. You know, I mean, it's all
Everything's just like in the moment, contextual to how it affects you, kind of thing.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of it's even like, you know, it's calculated. You know, like I had one that he would like, you know, he'd wait until like a day or two before he went on a 3-month tour so that he wouldn't have to deal with the repercussions. You know, and it was kind of swept under
Wow.
the rug by the time he got home. You know,
Jeez,
yeah.
that's so fucked.
How
Like, it's,
convenient.
yeah, that's like
Yeah.
breaking up with someone before Valentine's Day, so you don't have to buy them flowers.
Right, yeah, totally. And then getting
Fucked
like right
up.
back together with him on the 15th. You know?
Mark it on your calendar, February 13th.
Yeah, exactly. No flowers, no chocolate, no class.
Yeah, well, then you're kind of like left in that like that state of like that emotion when they leave too, where like you can talk yourself into feeling guilty about it, and like, you know, it's you do like, you know, it's a fucked up thing.
It's
you
a
know?
it's a sociopathy kind of thing. It's just really
Yeah.
fucked up, and you know, like it's fucked up to be in it once, but then you came out here and you met somebody else who was
Yeah,
abusive.
you know, you find yourself in that cycle because they smell that vulnerability on you. They see
Yeah.
that they see that you've been through something, and especially like they'll kind of like draw it out of you to where you talk about it, and then it's like they almost kind of get off on it, you know, and it's almost to see kind of like how far they can go and like what you let people get away with. You know?
Yeah, it's just like a degradation kind of thing. And I, honestly, like, you know, it's almost like nature is like one of the things that comes into play, because it's like people are like, oh, well, humans have evolved beyond like the animalistic
No,
instinct.
not at all.
Yeah, I don't think
I
so, because,
honestly
you
think
know.
we, like reverted or just really not gone as far as people think that we have. Like I mean, we do still have our like basic animal instinct. You know?
Yeah, and a lot of it is like, you know, we still do animalistic things. We just we have enough brain power to justify
We
it
have not
afterwards,
evolved
you
that
know?
much, guys.
Yeah,
We
we
have
just
a long ways to go.
we were just able to create art afterwards that like said it was okay. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
ultimately, it's just we're all like, you know, that's the thing that really like kind of like made me like realize something. I'm gonna tell this story, and I was gonna tell this like earlier in the show. Yesterday, I found a little mouse that was dying on the track
Oh,
outside.
yeah.
It was super cute, like, you know, just like the most adorable. It had like little round ears, like Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
ears.
Little white mouse.
No, it was like a gray mouse, and it was like
Right.
small though, you know, like this little guy. And he just like there were like flies that were landing on him and
Oh,
stuff, and it was
no.
awful. And I just like stopped. I got down and I was like, I need to do something about
Yeah, you
this.
have
And you
kinda,
gave
like,
him to
put
your
out of
cat.
misery.
No, no, that would probably poison my cat, because I think the mouse got poisoned. So what I did is I got like some cat food, some kale, some cheese, and a little thing of water, and I started spoon feeding him some water, and he was like, and started like, you know, sipping it up, and then I
Yeah.
got all the flies off of him, and I was just like, I can't leave him out here.
Yeah.
I got to get him upstairs. So I got him into a box. And then when I got him in that box, you know, like I took him upstairs. I was checking on him like every like hour. 3 hours into it, he didn't make it, you know?
Yeah, but at least he like had like a you know a little bit more comfort when he was going. He wasn't like, you
Did
know.
a nice last moment.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
thing
With
that I
someone who
realized,
cares.
he actually, like, I saw this little guy's last moments. You know, like,
Yeah.
he, like, I came in and he wasn't breathing, and then I, like, kind of, like, touched him, and then he, like, suddenly, like, came to life, and then he, like, looked at me, and then he, like, kind of, like, fell over, and then he
sweet.
stopped breathing, and it was just, like, this, like, moment where I realized, like, life is just, like, this thing where it's, like, there's this tiny little mouse where in like the grand scheme of things it doesn't matter, you know.
Right,
It's
but say
like
that mouse
mice
is
die
like-
all the time, but
Yeah.
I had this little thing that meant something to me,
Yeah.
and I was able to like give it a comfortable end of its existence. And right then I was thinking, life is not bullshit.
It's really not, and
you
you know, I
know?
mean, it's just because it's, I mean, the same with like, you know, people like, you know, like in abusive relationships, like a lot of people would just rather walk by and not look at like the dying mouse on the ground. You know? People would
Yeah.
just like they'd rather ignore the situation than then do anything about it. You know,
It's hard. That's the point. Is that it's hard to do something about like the tough situations in life. It's hard to see it. Like I was thinking,
there
like
is no like black and white about how to handle something.
anybody else would have seen that mouse and just like kicked it aside.
Right.
It would have gotten
Or if
eaten
they
by
did
the
it, yeah,
ants and stuff.
yeah.
It would have been like a terrible situation. But they like I saw it and I was just like, that is something that I need to do something about. You know.
That's beautiful though. I mean, like every little life matters.
Every little life matters, and you know, it takes the courage to like do something about it. You know,
Absolutely.
and that's like honestly, like when
You
when
matter
you
to me, Aaron.
Aw, this is really turning into a nice moment.
Nice little connection right here.
What if I was a mouse?
If you were a mouse, then I would have given you a nice little cage and you know, like some kale and some cheese
Have
too.
some
I don't-
cheese? Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
you
all
can
I
have
was
some
asking for.
cheese,
You
of
actually did
course.
give you some cheese.
Yeah,
all
I
I
gave
need.
you some cheese pizza
cheese
earlier,
on it?
man.
Okay, Star Wars.
Bought by
All right.
bought by Bruce Montevallo's Speaker Fund. That's what it's happened. I'm just kidding. That's a running joke on the show.
Right.
Old
Really
lead singer
good.
thinks I stole his speaker stands and bought pizza with it, so I always
Oh,
joke
that's
about that.
hilarious. Nice.
Thank you
Bought
for the
this-
pizza, by the way.
Thanks for the pizza, Bruce. Boom.
That was my husband's name.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, hopefully it wasn't the same guy.
No, who doesn't go by Bruce?
Right. So you know, do you think that there was like that moment of courage though yourself, like you know, where you were just like, get out, you know?
Honestly, like it was. I mean, it's really hard, you know, because it's especially like as like the feeling person in the relationship, you do love that person and you do like everything you can to make it work.
You're the more empathetic one. It sounds like.
Yeah, and it's hard for you to reach a point where you're like, fuck this is not worth it, you know. And it
Yeah.
really just took me not being there. Like I had to completely remove myself from the situation because honestly, I probably would have gone back to him.
Yeah.
You know, and it is very difficult, you know. And I've been lucky enough to have like such pieces of shit that they've like not really come after me afterwards because they've realized that it's better for them to go ahead and like just like, you know, take that cut,
Move on.
that like
Right.
because they're both in like the entertainment industry as well.
Oh,
and it's,
boy.
you know, bad look on them if they try to stay like, you know, connected to me, but then like
Yeah. They don't want to have like that kind of rap sheet either.
Right.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, like one of the things that I think is like really important out of all of this is that, you know, like you've had a world of experience that's now translated into a world of art.
Yeah.
But when you finally got out of that, I can only imagine the void you must have felt, you know?
it's an incredibly there's a bizarre feeling of like missing something that never really existed and realizing that you never really like had those emotions. You were just kind of made to feel that way.
You were probably pretty young, I mean.
Yeah, I mean it's like the last relationship ended a little over a year ago, you know, and then I got married when I was very young, so it's been like over the span of about like 10 years. you
Right.
know.
If you don't mind me asking the age at which you got married.
I was 21 when I got married.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
so it's, like,
cool.
that's super young, but I felt like I was really young.
That's pretty
you know?
young nowadays. Most people get
Yeah.
married at age 32 on average, I think, is for the millennial generation now.
Yeah. Well, you know, I feel like I was like a completely different person, you know, like you do so much evolving like throughout your 20s.
Absolutely. There's so many formative years that go into it. And they always say, like, you know, like if you get married early, then it's like a more of a successful chance of you like making it and stuff like that. But that's only if it's
Not
a good
necessarily.
that's only if it's a good marriage, you know what
Right,
I mean?
right.
Like, because all things equal, some people are in good marriages, but then they've also like, you know, I don't know, like had like, you know, tons and tons of sex with like everybody, and now they just can't settle down with like one person because they
Right.
just want to have wild orgies all the time, you know?
Right.
Or it's just an extreme example, but you know, like
Right.
How
it's
sweet.
yeah, exactly. How sweet, you know. But it's like a quality thing. I was reading about this the other day. It's like a quality thing, you know. Like sometimes, like if you people like really commit early, they like have like more of like a this is special. This is
Right,
like
we want to make
new.
this last. We want to like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But if that goes dark, it also is a lot of trouble like letting go of that,
It
you know,
really
because
is.
that's like your entire world when you're young.
Yeah, and it's, you know, you definitely like there's a big part of me that I realized after getting out of these relationships that I'd really like defined myself by these people, and I really didn't know who I was, you know. It's really even just been over like the past like even like 8 months, I would say that like I really found myself as a person and just like got rid of like the attachments that were them and that weren't me, you know.
Yeah, starting to figure out what your true identity is instead of just
Yeah.
like what everybody expects of you.
Exactly, you know, and just to even like, you know, just like that piece that's like still attached is like so and so's wife or so and so's ex-wife or so, you know. It's like no, it's like I'm just Kaitlyn actually. you
Something
know?
good always comes from a bad situation. you know.
Yeah, you know, and it's like I've learned to like
Hopefully at
love
the end
myself.
of that
Yeah.
bad situation.
Yeah.
And then the other question is now, though, you know, like you come to LA and, you know, like you've had like situations like that. I mean, I'm sure that there are like some nice guys who are like coming up to you now, too, right? I mean, some guys who are like actually like wanting to take you out to dinner and buy you
Right.
roses and stuff like that. But that must be like a weird point of view now with everything that you've been through.
It is surreal to like to be treated like a normal person should
respect.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's you. I mean, it's
God
honest, like,
forbid, right?
I find myself being so gracious towards like just like, you know, just like the smallest less like niceties. But I mean, it really is like it makes me sad for that girl that I was, and for like like the women that don't know how they're supposed to be treated, or even men, like everybody goes. It happens on both ends, but it's
happens to good people mostly,
Yeah, and it is overwhelming. It's overwhelming to starting to get treated like a person.
Yeah. Yeah, I always found that interesting. Like, how do you go from this to that? Like, how are you supposed to go from like what you've had your entire life, which is maybe like bad, to like something that you should have that you don't know how to deal with anymore?
There's almost like a part of you that feels like when someone isn't being shitty to you, that they don't care. Which is like, it's such a weird thing, but it's like
I'm supposed to provoke this fiery reaction.
Right. Like you haven't yelled at me at all.
That makes sense. That makes total sense.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's honestly, I went a while without like dating because I had to get that smell off of me of being that vulnerable person, And so
enjoy being you.
Yeah, I locked myself in for a long time.
Yeah, but you know what? Now you're like, you've got your art, your music.
Yeah.
You're in Los Angeles, which is one of the greatest cities in the entire world. You're constantly finding yourself out here. I'd say that this is a much better situation, and I will also say this. I think that you'll probably agree. The best is probably yet to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just gotten better and better and better, and like
we are just getting started,
good,
guys.
Yeah, that is so cool. Now, I want to ask an entirely different subject since we've gone down that rabbit hole a little bit. And thank you, by the way. I really appreciate that. That's good. This is honestly one of the most in-depth interviews we've done so far. But one of the things I wanted to find out is after you did that, and then you started playing with some musicians to try and like translate your musical dream. Did you have trouble like kind of like saying like this is like where I'm coming from. This is what I'm trying to do musically. Was that trouble?
Yeah.
Was it trouble to translate that to a band?
It definitely, there were musicians that I worked with that had issues with my content, and so like they didn't like the music to begin with.
Hence the questions.
Right. And so like, but you could almost like feel it in the music they were playing with me. Like, I was sitting with Devin Ullman, back in he was here for NAMM, so it was like back in like January.
Sure.
And he was listening to my music. He was like, "Well, like your music is there, but you can tell whoever's producing this fucking hates you in this music." And it was just like shit, but it was true.
Turning that suck knob up.
Yeah, right. Like he's like, and it's important to find people that that do appreciate your work, and there have been people that I worked with that just like want to do their own project, or just there's been like 100 different reasons.
Heart's not in
didn't
it.
work out, but yeah.
But
it's when we've started working together, it clicked so much and so quickly. And I was just like, it was like that relationship where it's like, oh shit, this is what it's supposed to feel like.
It was almost like we had known each other for a lot longer than we have.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which was awesome.
And that's exactly what you got to be. I've always said you don't have to like necessarily, like it's great that you guys have like that kind of relationship where you guys are like on point with each other. Like I've always said you don't have to have that with the band necessarily. As long as everybody's showing up and playing their part,
it helps.
That's great. But you know what? I think everybody secretly wants that. Everybody wants that band.
You can hear it in the music.
Yeah, to have like that connection. I mean, Led Zeppelin won't even play with the band without like John Bonham on the drums anymore, right? Like so.
This year with Jason, I think they're playing Red Rocks, I believe, with Jason Bonham, John Bonham's son.
Oh my God.
This year, yeah. So tickets are going to be like $12 million.
Oh,
that's all.
Yeah, but then,
just all the blood in your body.
But they would never play without a Bonham because John Bonham was so important and I'm going to say integral to Led Zeppelin that to have his son is the closest they can get for them to keep it on. That's why there's been so many different
it wouldn't make any sense to them, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, that's one of the coolest things ever is that it's almost like a blood ritual by that point,
Right.
They're just like, we already went to those crossroads with Robert Plant and we're ready to...
Well, it's like, and people can tell, like, people can see the difference on stage. Like, if you like have like that actual bond, like if your audience can tell and they want to see you having a good time together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was one of the coolest things. Like I said, I left a comment on that first video I had seen of you on the Instagram video of you playing that cowgirl thing.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, this track is so groovy. It makes me happy to watch this being played.
What's funny is like before that was like I think it was at like the Kibitz room, but that song was actually the first dance at my wedding.
Oh.
And so I always kind of like open that with like a little uncomfortable like this this song was like really close to me. It's like it's the first first dance at my wedding, and then everyone's like I'm like well, we're not married anymore.
Show's over.
Right.
You can't ruin Thin Lizzy for me.
No, that's great because then after that, like everybody's like, okay, this is when we got at our wedding. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But we're not together anymore, and they're like,
right.
So, can I get your
Right,
number?
right, exactly.
The next
It's
song.
like-
Play
it's
the
like
next song.
icebreaker,
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
Next song, next song. Yeah, exactly. Great icebreaker. Great icebreaker.
Some Zeppelin.
So so the Kibitz Room, I've never been there. I've heard of a lot of bands who've played down there before. It looks
Yeah.
like a groovy venue though.
It's interesting. It's interesting. It can be kind of a hard crowd because it's kind of like an older like rock crowd, you know. Like
Yeah.
it was really it was a punk rock like venue, you know.
Really?
And so yeah, I know. Like now it's like you're just like talking over people watching
Wait a
football,
minute.
you know, and have to like kind of like break into that.
That's
you
not
know?
very punk rock at all.
Not at all. It's the exact opposite of
It's
a
the
rock.
live music, like the live music friend for Cantors, that really old rock and roll restaurant on Fairfax.
Yeah.
Kibitz
Yeah, the
Room
Cancer's
is-
Deli.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like connected to
actually
it, yeah.
if I'm
The
I don't
Cancer Deli.
know. Cantor's Deli, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
They're open
Yeah.
24 hours a day. It's really cool.
Yeah, I've
It's
been
cool.
there a few times.
Yeah.
Straw me on rye.
I had my
Good
first.
stuff, good
I had my
stuff.
first bass
Right.
stolen from that place.
Oh, I've had my first
Unfortunate.
guitar stolen in Hollywood too.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Very
like
tragic.
always heartbreaking to have a guitar
You
stolen.
actually get a sandwich for playing there.
I
I
didn't
Hey, I didn't get my sandwich.
Well, I didn't play there, so I
Yeah.
mean, I guess. Well,
So
shit.
you're saying we're gonna be playing there soon?
That's like a rickety cricket thing to play for.
Right, right,
I will
right.
play for one
What's-
sandwich.
One.
Oh, and a bag of lemons.
Can you
Right,
cut that
right.
in threes, please?
I think I got like a shit ton of
Buy me a
cocktails
drink,
too, but
too,
not like
man,
that
come
might-
on.
They might have maybe give me a little more than
Yeah,
their
buy me a Lemmy. We're good.
Yeah.
Let me in a sandwich. I'm
All
good.
right, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get a free sandwich, you know where to play gigs at now. Cantor's Deli,
Right.
do it.
They
Oh,
literally
and the
give you a
Kibitz
meal
Room.
ticket.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to play a
Deli
gig
is
there.
Where the kitchen is at, where they make the food that goes
Right.
next door.
They send you through.
Cantor's Deli is where they make the food, and then the kitchen, and then they move. Anyway,
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
You-
so
you have the address too, there,
Right.
Aaron?
yeah, are
they
they?
could find it.
He's
We
like the
said
Stone
enough. They
commercial
could find
for
it.
it.
Yeah, I was about to say, are you getting paid for it, or you should get a kickback
Now
for
you
this?
get the
Honestly,
sandwich.
now you get sandwiches, and you keep on saying this, you get another one.
Fairfax.
Off of Fairfax. That's right, baby. So, looks like we're coming up on the 45-minute mark here. So I wanted to play one more of your tracks here. And I guess this is my point to ask for a recommendation because I don't know what new tracks you guys have put out recently. Do you guys have any new material?
Don't have anything new. We have some new stuff that we've been working on, but it's not. We're still
Saturday,
like fresh
Saturday
mode.
is our first show together as a group.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
our-
this
So
Saturday.
this is still very new.
So, yeah.
Oh, wait, is that going to be on the podcast? You mean tomorrow?
Yes, right. So yesterday.
Yeah, so
was-
technically yesterday.
Okay, yeah, so technically.
Sorry, guys at home, but
Sorry, guys. I'm on real time now in my head. So.
yeah. This is happening on Friday, so this is not going to happen on Saturday. So anybody who goes and shows up at that venue will not see Kaitlyn Gold
Right.
and the Orphan Age.
Right.
Sorry.
You can catch us
Sorry,
this coming
Saturday, June the 3rd. Yes.
Right.
Saturday,
Yes, yes.
June the 3rd.
So
What
yesterday.
other gigs you guys have coming up, by the way?
June 9th at the Vampire
Vampire Lounge.
Yeah.
Beverly
Oh,
Hills.
cool. I've been there once or twice.
Wine and
Yeah,
tasting
I've never
room. Yes.
actually been, but it should be fun. Should be
I
nice.
saw photos online and
Yeah.
it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. I think we'll have a good time there. And it looks like you can fit quite a few people in the main room there.
We like
so
to pack them in.
Yeah. Small rooms, lots of bodies.
and there's a full
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah.
It's, it's a great area, Beverly Hills.
Right.
so-
Is it actually vampire themed?
I think they have sandwiches.
Blood sandwiches. I mean, it definitely has that kind of like macabre like vibe to
It looks-
it.
yeah,
you
it does look
know?
kind of gothic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool
Okay.
vibe.
Cool,
It's
cool.
sexy, but like we're not gonna wear teeth or anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering you wear like the
Take falsies
sparkles,
out,
the,
yeah.
the Edward Cullen look,
I'm
and
kind
all
of
that.
see through anyway.
We're not.
Yeah, you just might need the sparkles,
You can wear
honestly.
your fangs if you
I
want. So.
sparkle a little bit, anyways.
Yeah, depending on what makeup you're wearing that
Right,
particular day.
right.
Yeah, I was
Right,
just curious
yeah.
because my girlfriend and I go to Bar Sin sometimes, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Gordoners. I love that. Yeah. Bar Sin is like the oldest LA goth club still running because I remember back in like the 90s and early 2000s there were so many of them. It was the evil club empire,
Yeah.
and there was a ton of them. And now I think Bar Sin is the last remaining one in Hollywood that's been around. They just had like their 17th anniversary.
Yeah, I actually
ridiculous, like
I went to the 17th anniversary. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
They had a
Great
lot
bands
of
playing.
a lot of bondage going on
Yeah, a
there.
lot
They
of
had
bondage and S&M and
yeah.
different kind of, I want to say a general dark theme, but it's a great place to see a lot of good live local bands. I seen Chris from Stabbing Westward. I seen his band, The Dreaming, over there, which is funny because at one point in the 90s that band was so huge, and to see him now playing all those songs,
Yeah.
Bar Sinister, is really cool, and it's just a good way to see a a big artist in a small venue. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that place is kind of fun. It's kind of fun. That's cool that you knew the guy from The Dreaming too.
Yeah.
The guitar player, the old guitar player, his name's Richard Jasmine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's somebody I was trying to get on the show recently, but he's a busy guy. He's moving right now, so.
Oh, yeah, that's a good butt.
Yeah, he's a cool guy too. He makes special effects props and stuff like that.
I've
but-
seen them with him because they've had a couple different incarnations of band members.
Right.
So, but they do all of that like late '90s stabbing west, where it's at the Witherburn, Blister, and Pill.
That's
I
why
really-
I was all into it, because I love
Yeah.
90s music.
Exactly. Yeah. So I love stabbing westward. So it's just it's one of my favorite venues.
Very cool. Very cool. Well,
I should
Bart-
get like free drinks for all these places.
Right? He's just like
this guy's
plugging all kinds of places.
dropping names.
5 or 6 sandwiches
Coming
coming your way.
another one.
I just like stabbing.
We gotta pick these. We gotta pick these names up off the floor. After all, these have been dropped. All right, but yeah, it's true. Bar Sin's fun. If you guys have never been there and you like to watch pretty girls get spanked for your amusement, that's at least a place to do it without having to feel like too guilty about it. Because that's the
Hopefully
whole
you'll
thing
see
about it.
Kaitlyn Gold in the Orphan Age there at some
Maybe
point
not the
too.
spanking, but like yeah.
Yeah, without the
Yeah,
spanking.
I
but-
was about to say,
Right,
maybe
that's
really
optional, but you could definitely get away with wearing an all black and like having like a more goth set. I could totally see that for your band.
I think I do some all black. I'm usually like sans pants, when I'm
I
on
kind of wear
stage.
all black normally anyway, so I feel like myself,
Yeah. I
It's
could
not too far of a stretch for us.
I
They're
could
all
see
black.
the Kaitlyn Gold in the Orphan Age doing like a Dios dos Muertes type
Right,
of thing.
right,
That'd be
yeah.
fun.
Black's
There
the
you
new
go.
brown. so-
Black is the new brown. Was brown ever the new black? I don't know. Anyways.
Maybe for a minute there.
No.
So I'm going to go ahead and choose a random song from the playlist then, just so we can make sure that we have another track on the playlist. But I wanted to also go ahead and get on to the show here, because Kaitlyn Gold in the Orphan Age is going to be playing some live music for us today. And we want to get this all set up for you. So let's go ahead and get the instruments in here. And then we're going to have a live performance. Actually, this is going to be before their first show as a band ever. So I think that this is ground zero
Little
right now,
preview.
isn't
Little
it?
This is it,
preview.
yeah.
This is it, guys. All right, cool. So we're going to get this gig. And like I said, this is a big deal, guys. Stick around. That was Kaitlyn Gold and the Orphan Age. That was their interview anyways. Now we're going to move on to a snippet from their live performance last night at the Venice Beach Bar. It was a great show, and me and my girlfriend had the opportunity to go and check it out. We got a small video from it. We're going to go and play that video, and then we're going to get straight to the performance from the band. But I thought that this would help round out the experience a little bit. So here's Kaitlyn Gold and the Orphan Age last night at the Venice Beach Bar, and then right after that, we're going to play Kaitlyn Gold right here inside the Crimson Media Studio.
All I need
Are you ready, gentlemen? You can take me, you can leave me. Though I made my move, I knew you'd never keep me. You put me away in the canyon, made sure you're my only companion. I don't break, I don't count where I'm holding my breath for 0 hour. I don't need someone to love me. I don't need someone who lives to sit above me. All I need is the air I breathe. But I just can't hide the way I smile when you're with me. But you're never with me, baby, anymore. So return to sender. Every line you gave was a lender. Feigned to stop you from leaving. Got caught up, is damn deceiving. Glimpsed the face of a stranger through the shattered glass on the floor. But it's too broken to tell who I was before. I don't need someone to love me, no. I don't need someone who dies to rise above me. All I need is the air I breathe. But I just can't hide the way I die when you're with me. Please don't take my breath away. I'm still dreaming. The colors dulled, but I'm beaming. And I still smoke and I'm still drinking. Numbs the pain, but doesn't stop the bleeding. So I'll take back time, never considered mine. But I'll leave you with this line. Someone who dies to rise above me. All I need is the air I breathe. All I need is the air I breathe. Please don't take my breath. Please don't take my breath away. Rock and roll. All right. All right. We're so used to having him like kind of like help us like fade it out. We're just kind of like, who's gonna call this one?
I fortunately got him into one of the shots over there too, so we got that worked out. Sounded very nice. Do we have any other tracks, guys?
Yeah, we'll do our title track, our single. You know.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Single.
Yeah, this single is very live. Yeah. All right. Sing me a song, tell me a story about your darker days and all your glory. Dive into my soul and turn off all of my fights. You take it all and run into the night. Break down and scream to me, my misfit mystery. Say the things that I can't say. so desperate to bury me. Paint drips from my face, eyes wide on the bathroom floor. Just another nameless cold case, another broken lock on the door. You dive into my soul, you turn off all of my fights. You take it all and run into the night. Break down and scream to me, my misfit mystery. You say the things that I can't say, so desperate to bury me. So desperate to bury me. You push me away while you beg me to stay. Close my eyes so I can't see, so desperate to bury me. So go on and bury me in the hell, the dirt I breathe. Not playing fair with me, I didn't know the tools I need. Alive. I'm so used to sitting up and Sheldon that one that I kind of like fizzles out of me. Thank you, thank you.
And is it 2 or you got 3?
Yeah, I think we'll just do the 2 rec, yeah. Yeah.
For now.
Well, to go ahead and say thank you very much for dropping by, Kaitlyn Gold and the Orphan Age. That was beautiful. I love both songs, and hopefully we'll get you guys back here sometime when you guys are, world famous and all that fun stuff. Thanks a lot, guys. Crimson Media Radio, episode 11. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Like what you hear? Click subscribe to hear more interviews and tracks from artists all over the world, right here on Crimson Media Radio.